When the lights of America's Got Talent 2025 flickered on for the very first audition episode, no one expected history to quietly walk onto the stage in simple heels and a calm smile. Jessica Sanchez didn't enter with fireworks or drama. She entered with silence. The audience murmured as her name was announced, some recognizing it instantly, others unsure why it sounded familiar. Jessica had been here before, in a different era, under a different spotlight. Years ago, she had stood on another massive stage, her voice praised, her future predicted as unstoppable. But life had not followed the straight line America loves to imagine. Instead, it bent, twisted, and nearly broke her. AGT 2025 was not a debut. It was a reckoning. As Terry Crews asked why she decided to audition now, Jessica paused longer than expected. That pause said more than any rehearsed speech ever could. She explained that she had spent years chasing perfection, industry approval, and expectations that slowly drained the joy from singing. She talked about walking away from music, about nights wondering if the world had already moved on without her. The crowd listened differently now. This wasn't a hopeful teenager. This was an artist who had lost everything she thought defined her and was daring to rebuild it in front of millions. Then the judges asked the question that always changes everything. What are you going to sing? Jessica smiled, a small nervous smile, and said she would sing an original arrangement blending soul, pop, and gospel elements. A risky move. America's Got Talent is not always kind to risks. The music started softly, almost fragile. Her first note didn't explode. It hovered. It trembled. And then it settled into something deep, rich, and undeniable. Within seconds, the audience leaned forward. Judges exchanged looks. This was not nostalgia. This was evolution. Her voice carried weight. Every lyric felt lived in. She wasn't singing to impress. She was singing to survive. Halfway through the song, she stripped it back completely, singing a cappella. The room went silent. No coughing. No shuffling. Just breath held across an entire theater. When the final note faded, there was a half-second of disbelief before the room erupted. A standing ovation crashed down like a wave. Simon Cowell didn't smile right away. He leaned forward, thoughtful, and said something that would echo through the season. This wasn't a comeback. This was an arrival. Jessica advanced easily, but the internet exploded overnight. Clips of her audition trended across platforms. Headlines questioned whether AGT had just found its frontrunner in episode 1. Others doubted whether she could sustain the momentum. That doubt followed her into the next round. In the judge cuts, she chose a classic American ballad, something everyone thought they knew. But she rearranged it, slowed it down, and added emotional phrasing that made it feel brand new. This time, the risk almost backfired. One judge questioned whether she was overthinking. The audience reaction was warm but not explosive. For the first time, Jessica looked uncertain as she left the stage. Backstage, cameras caught her wiping tears. She admitted she was terrified of disappointing people again. That moment humanized her more than any perfect performance ever could. When results night arrived, her name was called last. The pause felt cruel. Then she was through. Relief flooded her face, but the message was clear. America was watching closely. There would be no free passes. The live shows introduced a new challenge. Competing against dancers, magicians, comedians, and viral sensations, Jessica knew she had to do more than sing beautifully. She had to create moments. For her first live performance, she surprised everyone by collaborating with a small gospel choir from Detroit. The arrangement built slowly, layering harmonies until the stage felt larger than the theater itself. The performance ended with Jessica stepping back, letting the choir finish the final refrain alone. It was a bold choice, and it worked. Viewers at home felt included, uplifted, and inspired. Votes poured in, but success always invites pressure. In the semi-finals, she faced her biggest twist yet. A vocal strain forced her to change her song choice hours before going live. Panic set in. Producers worried. Fans speculated. When she walked out, she admitted it openly. She said she wasn't at her strongest, but she promised honesty. Instead of belting, she delivered a stripped-down acoustic performance, sitting on a stool, letting vulnerability lead. Some notes cracked. Some moments were imperfect. And America loved it. Social media exploded with praise for her courage. That night, she didn't just survive. She transformed the narrative. Perfection was no longer the goal. Connection was. The finals arrived faster than anyone expected. Jessica stood among performers half her age and twice as flashy. The night before the finale, she recorded a message thanking fans for allowing her to rediscover her voice. She said winning would be incredible, but healing had already happened. When finale night began, tension filled the air. Her final performance was a medley telling her entire story: loss, doubt, resilience, and rebirth. The staging was simple. The focus was entirely on her voice. As the last note rang out, tears filled the eyes of judges and audience members alike. This wasn't just entertainment. It was testimony. When the winner was announced, time seemed to slow. Third place. Second place. The pause stretched endlessly. Then Terry Crews said her name. Jessica Sanchez, winner of America's Got Talent 2025. The room exploded. Confetti fell. Jessica dropped to her knees, overwhelmed. Years of struggle, silence, and self-doubt collapsed into one moment of validation. Simon Cowell hugged her. The judges stood. America voted not just for a voice, but for a story of resilience that mirrored their own. In her winner's speech, Jessica didn't talk about fame. She talked about second chances. She thanked everyone who believed in her when she couldn't believe in herself. She reminded viewers that dreams don't expire and that sometimes losing your way is part of finding your true voice. As the season closed, one thing was clear. Jessica Sanchez didn't just win a trophy. She reclaimed her narrative. She reminded America that greatness isn't about starting strong. It's about standing back up when the lights feel too bright and the silence feels too loud.